Hey everybody, it's Good Time Gal. Happy National Pistachio Day. That's right. Today, February 26th, the year 2025, is National Pistachio Day. If you are like me, then you love using pistachios. I have picked my favorite pistachios today. I love a regular pistachio. These are always delicious. And then my all-time favorite, the honey. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And I believe they use real honey, so it's a crunchy honey dust, and they put I can eat a whole pack of these, and then usually someone goes, "No, don't, your stomach." And I go, "No, I'm gonna do it." And then I go, "Oh, my stomach." It's a vicious cycle, but I love them. And the reason that I love them is if you are on a diet, if you are needing to look for another appetite suppressant, pistachios are really great appetizer suppressants, especially if you're looking for something to get you through the meal. I know a lot of people enjoy using protein bars in between. Some people like to do hummus, where you do like a spoonful of hummus, or you do hummus with vegetables, because that's also a really good appetite suppressor. Pine nuts are a great appetite suppressor. Pistachios, great appetite suppressor. Sunflower seeds are as well, but the amount of sunflower seeds you need for an appetite suppressant can sometimes seem like it's too much. But these, yes. So this is for my diet gals. If you, and guys, if you are looking for another way to suppress your appetite, this is a really great way. The reason is because pistachios are packed with nutrients. They are rich in protein, they're rich in fiber, and they have all those healthy fats that you need for your body, especially when you're doing weight loss, you're trying to kickstart it. So this is, now you see why there's a National Pistachio Day. It's also to bring awareness, so you know why we have these around. Pistachios have been around for thousands of years. In ancient Persia and the Mediterranean, they used to call these the smiling nut, because when you look at the shell, if you turn it to the side, it looks like it's smiling. So it also lets you know people were a lot positive back then, a lot more happier about it. But yes, so now that it is National Pistachio Day, you have found out my favorite pistachios. We are going to go ahead with this bake. If you notice, there's no music playing today, and that's okay. Sometimes I'm going to have music, sometimes I'm not. If you notice, the day before yesterday was National Tortilla Chips Day, and we did a homemade tortilla chip, and I was not in the video. Sometimes that will happen as well, where I just post the process of it, and then sometimes I'll just give you guys really fun, quirky did you knows about these national holidays, because again, that's what Good Time Gal is all about. Good Time Gal Food Blog is all about making us aware of why we have all of these wonderful food holidays, and it's also a really great way for you guys to celebrate, because even in our darkest times, sometimes the only thing we have is our celebration. So do the thing, write the thing, love the person, be who you want to be, because that's really what celebrating is about. Holidays are always invented after something tragic happened, and we have to remember that tragedy by celebrating. And I want everybody to have that feeling that food is a celebration. National holidays, these are celebrations. Yeah, you may not have gotten that promotion, but guess what? It's National Pistachio Day, and I'm going to make some really great pistachio energy bites. Hey, I may not like what I saw in the news today, but guess what? Today is National Margarita Day, and I can make me a good margarita, invite my girls over, and feel good about it. You see where I'm going with that? That's the beauty of national holidays, especially food holidays. America was invented on mistakes and food. Did you know tortilla chips was a mistake? Someone accidentally, this is a true story, someone accidentally cut those tortillas into triangles. They were excess. And the owner, she was like, no, we're going to fry those. She fried them. She put them in individual bags, and she sold them on the street, and they blew up. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, these tortilla chips, give them chips. Yes. So I say this to say every holiday that has to do with food is born out of either a mistake or a tragedy. And what this is to show you is that we can transmute that energy. We need to transmute that dark energy into positive. And cooking for the ones you love, it's always a really positive thing. All right, now that I have gotten off my high horse, so what I'm gonna do today is I'm going to make my special super moist chocolate cake It's a chocolate cake. I do a double layer with this, and then I do this, and then I crush the honey pistachios on top. How did I come up with this idea, you ask? My greedy daughter. Yeah, she loves it. So this is one of her favorite cakes that I make, and she always says, Mom, please just make it. So I thought I would share it with you guys. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, you will actually see I have made this cake twice for her. Very easy cake, and it's always very enriching to do. So let's get started. So for the cake, I'm just gonna do it normal, and we're gonna have some beauty of movie magic. So I'm going to make this, and then we'll probably edit, and then you'll get to see when we get to the part where we put it up. So when we do the super moist, I'm just going to be following the instructions. That's it. And again, remember, food equity is always about making it as easy as possible, not necessarily hard, right? When you cook hard stuff, that's usually to impress your mom, your mother-in-law, your grandmother, which we would say is Chef Ramsay. Chef Ramsay is like on grandma level, you know what I mean? Impressing, like, I gotta impress them. Like, that's, yeah. So I'm just gonna pour this in. And this calls for a cup of water and half a cup of vegetable oil. And 3 eggs. My half a cup of water. This may be, I may be cutting it on the, well, actually, no, that's exactly a half of a cup. Look at that. Look at us. And now I need 3 eggs. And yes, I got these eggs 50% off. Regular price, are you ready? $9.50. Yeah. I've been eyeballing these eggs for a week. Yeah, I was like, well, I still got eggs. Still got eggs. You know what? I can make some things that don't need eggs. It's true. So that's 1. 2. 3. I'm going to use a fork. I'm gonna bring this forward a little bit so you can see it. And now it's a perfect, yes, see that? That's what I want. And when I move it around, like the bottom, I don't want any excess dust. I want to make sure that it looks perfect. See, when I move the bottom, chocolate should stick as well. So now I have my little bump pan. Usually I do a double layer, but I'm gonna do a single layer today. So this will actually be the layer of that I need. So I don't have to cut it in half and unbalance it. I can just do it, pop it out, and then it's just a quicker way for me. But this is lined with parchment, so I don't have to If you don't have parchment, always use a butter, like stick of butter, go all the way around it, and then just lightly dust it with flour. And then always shake your pan excess to get the flour away. Because flour burns. And I don't know if you've ever smelled burnt flour with nothing with it. I always say it's almost worse than smelling burnt hair. And so now I'm just gonna evenly distribute it into the pan. But I'm also letting the material do the work because, again, I have parchment paper that's lined at the bottom. So I want to make sure that everything is laying the parchment paper down even further. I call this the spatula knife dance, where I want everything. I want everything off the spatula. But I gotta put it somewhere else. Yeah. This is the dance. Like, do you want to get off the spatula? Maybe get on a knife? It's like, no, I want to stay on both. Well, you can't stay on both. You gotta get eaten. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta rationalize it to myself. I feel like I'm not the only one who does that, so it's okay. See, and then yeah, look at this. This is my. That is the bane of my existence. And then I just like to make sure I get all of it because, again, food for me is like gold, so I don't like to waste. All right. I like how this has gotten where I want it to, so I'm gonna just shaking it a little bit. So now this is gonna go in the oven. I'm going to put this in between 38 and 43 minutes. And remember, I told you guys before, when you are working with a gas stove, which I have, you always want to, when it gives you this kind of time where it says, oh, it could be 38 to 43 minutes, especially with the gas stove, always go for the low number. So I'm gonna put this in for 38 minutes. And then once the timer goes off, I'm gonna check it because it could be done. That's how a gas stove works. But with an electric stove, sometimes depending on the electric stove, you may have to do the full 43 minutes. It's true. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start at 38 and then check it at 38, and if it's good, then we will let it cool for a good 20 minutes, and then we will continue with the best part of this, which is the pistachios. All right, see. All right, 38 to 43 minutes have passed with the beauty of movie magic. So now this is our cake, and it came out perfect. It's the right height. It's exactly what I want, and it's got the right amount of sponge. Usually when I do this, I use a 9x13 pan, and I have to cut it in half and then stack it. But I'm so happy that I decided to use my bundt pan and just do this, because now it's just gonna be an easy peasy chocolate cake squeezy. So this is the cake. It's beautiful. So now the next step is a crucial step. For the duration, I'm going to be chopping these pistachios, because remember, that's our beautiful topping. But before I do that, I'm gonna place this in the fridge until I'm done, because I want this to be as cool as possible, because I'm gonna be putting frosting on top plus the nuts. If it's still hot, it will melt. So even if you are in a rush while you are getting the other ingredients together, it is always a really great idea to put these things in the freezer. Put them in the freezer. If you only have 5 to 10 minutes, freezing at 5 to 10 minutes will cool it down exponentially. If you have a longer time and you need to freeze it for 15 to 20 minutes, please place it in the Frigidaire. So that way you are not compromising the actual cake inside, okay? So I've got a little less time, so I'm gonna do what I just said. I'm gonna put this in the freezer, okay? Because it's fresh out. I'm going to start chopping them, okay? And the beauty of this is you can use as many pistachios as you like, because it's National Pistachio Day, and we all like pistachios. So that's the plain ones. So I'll probably do a little half here and a half there. And then I'm going to slowly incorporate some of the honey into that. And I'm going to do it again. And if you notice, remember I talked about the honey dusting, you can see it. You can see the little honey dusting on the pistachios. They're really nice. So now we start chopping. Some of you can say, oh, well, I'm gonna use a blender. And if you are kind of clumsy with knives, please use a blender, but just remember to blend on a low, and you have to pulse. Always remember to pulse. Don't just hit the blender button. That's when the blender can get overheated. Some of the nuts can get stuck. It can cause a whole issue. For me, chopping, it just means that I have a little more control of the things that I do. Your girl got quiet. Yes, I did. This is usually why I have music on, because I get super intense about the chopping. If you've ever worked with my mother, sometimes we get real quiet in the kitchen because we are consumed with the chopping. So as you can see, it's coming along quite nicely. I don't want them too big. I want these to be where you get a bite and you go, oh, right? So that's why I'm not chopping them too thin, and I'm not chopping them just in half. I'm trying to make sure that the consistency we have is perfect for what we are doing. So we're getting there, and I'm going to keep going. Almost there. You know what's great about this? We're almost there, and by the time we get done, our cake will be fully chilled. That's why it's so important that when you're cooking that you don't really rush. You just do the work that's set in front of you, and before you know it, time has flown by. That's also a great way to know if you are in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing. If time flies by, you feel great doing it, then it's meant for you, right? A little more, just to even it out. I don't want it too fine, but I don't want them too thick either. So I'm just gonna this is our excess. This is what's left. That's something people don't do when they have a plastic cutting board. And I always advise that whenever you chop something and you want to make sure, especially on a plastic cutting board, always hit it. See that excess? That's how you get a lot of those germs out before you wash it. Okay? That's just a little trick. All right, so the nuts have been finely chopped. Look how beautiful they are. Oh, yes. Oh, this honey blend. This is going to go perfect with the cake. All right, so let's get the cake. All right. So this is our beautiful cake. As you see, the sun is shining down to let us know. We also have our frosting. This is my rich and creamy frosting because I want this to be a decadent chocolate cake. I love decadence. If I could have decadence every day. If I could have decadence every day. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. So this is how I like to do frosting. This is ready-made frosting. Sometimes I will give it a little spin. Some people like to do that where they whip it. And then sometimes I take a butter knife and the beauty thing about Betty Crocker and she'll tell you what this pairs well with. Like, oh, this will pair well with the super moist one. It'll also pair well with the triple fudge. And it'll also pair well with the one that we got, a super moist chocolate. She always likes to let you know like what you're in the mood for. So I just like to do this with my knife. I like to whip it. Whip it really well. You see that? And I'll just And then this is how I like to get those beautiful cake designs, is I like to swirl my frosting, and I just swirl it and it will just pull wherever it needs to go. See that? And it'll give me those beautiful swirls. This is why I tell people baking is about art. Baking can be artful. Baking can be about beauty. Baking is all about your mood. So if we always say no crying in the kitchen because it spoils the food. But we also say always cook with love, because people can taste that. People can taste if you've been a little ornery with your food. People can taste if you're having a bad day. People can very much taste that. So you want to make sure that when people taste your food, they can taste the love. We're going to talk about love. French people say cooking with love, meaning lots of butter. Americans, we say cooking with love, we mean having a tender touch, right? We want to cook delicate. We want everybody to enjoy it. It's looking good. And then I'm gonna just put a little more. I'm gonna save that excess, not because of anything other than one of my kids is gonna want some of that frosting. And I will not have them poking their fingers in this chocolate cake. I won't do it. It's usually where we go with that. I'm like, there's a rat in the kitchen. Who's in the chocolate cake? Get your fingers out of there. Especially holidays. Holidays is when that rat, when that rat in that kitchen shows up. Fingers in the pie, fingers on the vegetable tray, just nibbles, nibbles, nibbles. All right, I like this. Do another little swirl just to give it that. All right. So now, oh, you thought, So this is where we get crazy. I just start putting it on there. The messier it looks, the better. And I also like to do this. I like to press it just a little bit. Ooh. Woohoo. All right, so this is our masterpiece. Look at him. Ooh. Ooh. I like it. But you know what I'm gonna say? The plate. All right, well, this is all the time we have. And I want to thank you guys so much. I hope that you have enjoyed our National Pistachio Day video. I am urging everyone on National Pistachio Day to eat some pistachios and have a really good time, okay? All right, that is all the time we have. I want to thank everybody for watching this video and helping me make this crushed pistachio double chocolate cake. I also want to encourage everybody, please feel free to purchase my book, Good Thyme Gal Cookbook. Please go ahead and check the channel description for more of my cooking aids, and happy cooking, everybody.